Say What with Lady Alex. If you don't know, I'm a Colorado native, a photographer, and a podcaster, and an all-around positivity cheerleader. And one of my passions is badass women entrepreneurs. What? Because I am one. So I interview these amazing women who started out just like you and me, and I get all the nitty-gritty details and the lowdown on what it took to succeed and how you can create your own future destinies just like us. Thank you for coming back to our Season 2 premiere, and if you just found us, we want to welcome you to something huge. We are on the move this season with some incredible interviews all the way around the world. So slip on those headphones or boost your speakers loud, because this juicy stuff that we're about to give you will have you planning your future business today. Are you stuck? Does your body stutter and stop even when your brain keeps asking it to move? A lot of times, as we go through the seasons of change, our bodies take a toll for the things that they've gone through. Physical and emotional traumas to our bodies can leave you stuck and sometimes feeling trapped in your own body. But this lovely lady is making magic for her clients by finding out through movement what are the mental blocks holding you back from being able to connect the mental and physical bodies together. Her name is Analii Cunningham, and how she talks about movement has me booking a class with her ASAP. Welcome back, everybody, to the 27 Studios. We have an incredible guest who is going to come in and talk to all of us about the movement therapies and wellness and her education. Miss Analii Cunningham, welcome.
Hi, Alex. Thanks so much for inviting me.
Of course. I'm excited that you got to come and get to tell me a little bit about your business that you do. So tell me, I know that we got me kind of started. We're going to have a movement session. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about this.
Well, I have to dial back a couple years. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to dial back. I'm 57, I admit.
You look fabulous, by the way, for 57.
So my background has stemmed from dance and yoga and watching people move and working with football players and basketball players in CU in the 80s, if you can believe that.
That's so fun.
And way back then, it wasn't really considered real movement to teach people how to move with emotion. It was kind of like, here's the exercise, do it. And so come current events, movement therapies, education really is about re-educating people about movement. It's not the exercise, it's not the shape of your yoga, it's who you are in your own body moving.
Right.
And I especially love women.
Oh, well, I personally have, a passion for women as well, as you know. But I did a little bit of research on you. And so you are a dancer, right?
Yes.
And then you had a knee injury?
Yes, I would say that the knee injury happened when I was in my mid-20s. I was living up in Aspen, Colorado.
Oh, wow.
After going to Boulder, thinking I could, go up there and be I wasn't going to be a snow bunny, or ski bunny, but I certainly was involved in dance.
Yeah.
And in skiing, I wrecked my knee.
Oh, no.
And that was late 20s. And fast forward 3 decades.
Yeah.
I just have worked with the body long enough that I have several things that I've done for my knee. And, of course, I can't do what I did when I was in my 20s.
Right.
But I'm back dancing.
Do you think that, with dancing and then the knee injury and just being involved physically and emotionally, because I know dance is kind of an emotional thing as well, that really geared you to this business that you have now?
Yes, most definitely. I think that as we age, we don't age our movement. We don't age with our movement.
Right.
Pace. So considering that, I think that the most important thing working with people is that they really feel and sense where they're at.
Yes.
At whatever point you are in your life, and therefore I move this way.
Right.
And therefore I dance this way, and therefore I do my yoga this way.
Right.
And when injury happens, we don't recover the injury as much as we recover a pattern that might allow us to continue thriving in what we want.
Oh, wow.
It's changed.
Yeah.
We don't want to call it a bad leg or bad knee. Or, we want to say it has been through a chapter.
Yeah.
Right?
It's had a rough couple little bits.
so movement therapies, yes, you might look at it as, okay, it's a therapy of the body or the mind, or it's like physical therapy. No, it's a little different because it encompasses literally the whole, all the way down to our cells.
Right.
And what's causing us physical grief can really all the way dial into our emotions and how we feel about ourselves.
And it can manifest, physical pain. It can. I know through my own, scenarios, I had a couple accidents where just knee problems. And as I have aged, I lost a bunch of weight. And then now that I've had my second child, I gained a bunch of weight. And that knee that I, totally forgot that I damaged at all should be fine. It's never had a problem since. I've noticed now is starting to have more problems. When I was in that negative space, I was really emotional. I was upset about my own body, and it felt like it manifested again in my knee through physical pain.
Absolutely. It is as good as anyone says. If you can't visualize how it could be and how you'd like it to be, it certainly is not going to happen because your pattern to create whatever it is that doesn't allow you to move forward.
Yes.
So, movement therapy, moving forward. Yeah.
So how would you suggest people who feel like they're kind of stuck, stagnant, not engaged emotionally in their, physical movements?
Well, and again, it's interesting dialoguing. Sometimes people need to see something to say, okay, so what movement do I do?
Right.
And I want to say rocking movement. So I could take So in certain styles of a dance, you'll rock, you'll reach, you'll do things at different levels.
Okay.
The most nurturing position or movement is rocking. And guess what? When we stand forward and back, we rock.
Yeah.
If we're really walking with rocking, we're soft in our walk.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to find themselves again, we rock our body, we rock a part, and then we rock our gestures. Like if I'm going to reach to you, I rock my body towards you, not away.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, and I personally just learned this through some of my own therapy with my therapist, that she said I have sometimes a hard time dealing with overwhelming emotion. And so she has even said that rocking motion almost triggers the brain to calm down.
Yes, it calms the nervous system.
Yeah, to settle in and realize that this is not the end of the world. And so I like that rocking motion. Do you teach people who, don't really think that they have issues in how they move their bodies?
I am. And I had closed my big medical space in the therapy center, the formal big space, in November. But I am working individually. But I think for me, it's that education part.
Yeah.
And so, no, I don't have that place yet. I'd like to start with women. I do teach some beginning movement for tango. It's basically walking.
Okay.
And I hope to evolve that.
Yes.
I also am trying to volunteer in the community to work with different segments of the market that don't get movement in the right way.
Right.
Parkinson's, tango, movement, rocking.
Oh, yeah.
So I think for me, it's my vision is more about community of healing through movement.
Yeah.
And my other business, which is that a nutraceutical company, that's the business that really is financially allowing me to thrive and do the other things like even clothing design. We didn't even get there.
Yeah. Oh, you're a clothing designer as well?
Well, it started with dance.
Yeah. So making your dance outfits, is that where it started?
Well, and it actually started by watching people move.
Oh, and being able to see the fabric.
And I costumed a lot of other bodies because on stage, if there's 5 bodies in one person, they're all different.
Yeah.
You can't be uniform.
Yeah.
If we're going to accentuate everyone.
Yeah.
So again,
it's like a painting. You're not going to paint all of your painters all of your things the same way.
So I'd say all the things that I do encompass natural integration of who you are and enhancing those qualities.
Oh, that's so cool that you get to do that. Is this something that is like super your passion, or does this help drive your passion in dance?
It helps drive my passion.
Yeah.
The nice thing right now in my life is that it seems to be after 57 years. I started dancing and moving and watching animals move when I was 3 years old.
Right.
So, but now at this time, I really feel that everything I'm doing somehow has synergy.
Yeah.
One feeds the next. And so I can't say one is my absolute passion.
Right.
They all feed each other.
Because they're all so unique,
I feel
too.
incredibly blessed to have that.
Yeah.
After many trials and tribulations.
Yeah. Learning.
And businesses and things that are like, oh, okay, that didn't really work.
Yeah.
Was that really me? I thought so.
Right? Sometimes it's unique how you can think that you want one thing, and but it does end up guiding you into the right direction.
Right. And tapping into who we are and what I call feeling and sensing who you are through everything you do, the way you look at someone, the way that you gesture, is going to give you your answers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like you said, living that authentic life instead of trying to create this person, because then it reflects inside. Right. I'm sure with your body movement, right. If you're pretending to be someone different, your body's going to be adjusting different.
Right. And body language. I mean, sure, if you don't even, all you have to do is look at body language. Yeah. And if someone's saying something, but it doesn't look that their body is going with it, 9 times out of 10, it's the posture inside. You call it the emotional posture.
Really?
Right.
So it's like how I feel inside is influencing my own body.
Right. Like if we really want really good posture, I'm going to get there and I'm going to be
what I'm not doing right now.
That's almost too much.
Yeah.
It's of being in your posture. The being part allows you to be at every level in complete synergy with what's right.
That is so...
And most of the time, we're going 2 notches above that.
Yeah.
Because guess what? We're driven. And sometimes driving ourselves too much forward
can
hinder.
When I
say forward movement and backward movement and sideways movement, everything in between allows us to be free in our life.
Yes. Oh, that's so...
So when someone says I'm going backwards, I'm like, great.
Yeah, maybe that's exactly
what you were just the catalyst to move forward again in a different way.
Right? And a body in motion stays in motion. It doesn't matter if it's going backwards.
Right. It should go. We should allow ourselves.
Yes. Now, I am a firm believer of being able to, for my own children, I try and teach them at an early age. Do you work with younger people to help build that education early before they're starting to actually do some damage to their bodies?
In the past, when I was out of college and I had some opportunities and it was funded.
Yeah.
And then I moved up to Aspen and taught, dance and ballet. Yeah. Even that, though, I think creative movement, pure movement. Yeah. So I could say that it would be something I'd want to do. And I have worked individually with children who have had things that have blocked them from normal movement, and it wasn't something that was physical. So there's certain movements that we don't allow ourselves to do anymore because of the kind of dialogue we have with our technology.
Yes,
it's happening in a screen, but it's not happening in our body. So I think that. If I could do a thing with kids, I would.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that. Every emotion available, we do through the body. And if kids are allowed to do that, even the stuff that's tough, like scream with your body.
Yeah. To be able to do it.
And display it with the body. So children, adults should do it too. Sometimes we haven't even gotten as kids.
And I think it's a lot of times too, for me, I never thought that I was that way where I'm thinking about what other people are thinking of me. But even just like yelling, I love money in the Wine, Women, and Wealth class, like things, I don't yell as loud as I possibly could. Why is that? She's telling me, yell as loud as I can. And I'm still like, yay. That's just an emotion that I have tied to that, and it's physically coming out of me that way.
So there's a voice and there's a body voice.
Okay.
And the body voice does not need accompanying sound if you want to show it.
Okay.
So with kids, I would say, let's do the voice.
Okay.
Let's do the body voice. And then now let's mix the two and make a poem.
Oh, that's awesome. That is really cute, though.
A version of that for adults works too.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when I say kids or adults, we still are always growing inside.
Yes.
And especially with the young ones, with the idea of allowing ourselves to take a check on where our boundaries are, because some things aren't appropriate. We have movement boundaries, and just sort of identify what those are and play them out.
Yeah.
And then conversations are understood better.
Yeah, because then there's not like this unknown that we just don't, we're just sweeping that under the rug. We get to talk about it, communicate about it.
Right.
And then you can manifest the goodness in your body. Because I know when I feel like stressed out or anything, those are all emotions in my brain, yet they have terrible things going on in my body.
And a lot of the times if I'm teaching a yoga class, let's say, and everyone knows a position that says make a triangle, they try so hard to make the triangle, and the shape is what's important to them.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, how do you get there? How did you get there? Well, it was really hard. I said, well, is there a different alternate path? And so, you know, I think that we all as human beings think there's one way.
Yes.
If we're taught that way.
The right way.
The right way.
Yes.
And whose right way?
Right? Who made the right way?
And you could still get to the end, but you might have a whole description, you personally, of how you get there.
Yep.
So I call it, you know, knowing your own unique body in whatever discipline you do.
Yeah. That is so awesome. And I think that's so true. Because there's so many people I personally know of who, you know, wouldn't even think about these things and how they're living their life and ending up, especially, you know, my mother, she was told lots of times that she has fibromyalgia and stuff like that because they can't really find what is wrong with her. But it could be just because she's in a lot of stress. I mean, that has to come out eventually somehow. And so it's super, super crazy.
Hi, I'm Maury Finkel, founder of Finkel's Fixtures, biggest lighting fixture chain in the Southland. And if you're anything like me, you like free advertising. And the only way to do that is to get on the Say What with Lady Alex podcast. So do it. Call 970-778-7991 and book your interview today. Do it. Do it.
I love what you're doing with your techniques. I was seeing, because I didn't know on your description, I didn't know one of the words. I was like, oh my gosh, now I need to research this. And so talk to me a little bit about the somatics. Is that how you say it?
Yes, somatics is, and I studied that way back in college. And back then, again, it was one of those, probably my problem is that no one put credence to it. They said, oh, it's just that movement stuff. But somatics, soma is the body, how we feel through our body, how we feel moving through space. And sometimes we say, oh yeah, I'm moving through space, and we may be consciously walking, but we really aren't walking with our whole self.
Right.
With presence, that there's people around me, there's a body around me, there's, steps and navigation. And somatics is truly being able to feel and sense your connections through your body, what's moving and what's staying, and why would you twist to the right without, things like that are unconscious in our body.
Okay.
Somatics can be as simple as how I reach for a glass could change by thinking about scooping, thinking about floating the elbow up. And so we can change
by what you focus on?
What we focus on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, through movement, through knowing our body.
And then does that mean, like, when we are focusing on that one way to benefit our body, does that end up becoming just a habit and then becoming a, like, a subconscious thing?
Yes. And I think what we do is create many habits, and some stay like a script.
Right.
What we need, and through somatics, it's multiplicity.
Right.
Oh, it could go there. It could go there. It could have this path.
Right.
And I think the human experience is we're in survival, so we're always trying something new.
Right.
Certain things feel better, so we repeat those. Those are, I don't even want to call them habits. Those are things that inhabit us.
Okay.
And I don't even like the word bad habits, because then we're labeling like, oh, that's bad. How did it get there?
Right.
How do we get rid of it?
Yeah.
Where if it's a part of your being, I call it just a momentary chapter. Oh, that hip, that's a momentary chapter.
Yeah.
If we want to move it out of our body, where else do we look? In the somatic world, we go, my right hip. What does it have to do with the way that my head turns to the left?
Right.
And we are so in touch with parts,
Yeah.
but not the whole.
Yeah.
So,
and
I mean, I could go into
fixing
more
the
depth.
parts.
It's just an umbrella for many ways
Yeah.
that the body perceives it's being in life,
Right.
alive.
I know I've been told, especially like if you chew on one side, or it can throw your whole body
Right.
out of
Right.
alignment. So that's crazy that
Right.
that if you just focus on those certain aspects, that's really, really interesting. So what do you do in your spare time? You are an avid entrepreneur. You have so many hats. You do your movement. You love dance. And I saw you're from Hawaii. Do you like to just go back and vacation and check out the islands again?
I would say that as of lately, my roots are in Hawaii. I was born and raised there. Left for college and came to Colorado. So in some senses, at my age now, I have lived longer in Colorado
Than you did.
than I did in Hawaii. And I want to say that Hawaii will always be my home.
Right.
But I think I feel more Coloradan than Hawaiian.
Really?
Yeah, but my roots are there. I mean,
Yeah.
I really, really love the ocean.
Yeah.
Again, that's where it gives me movement.
Yeah.
The history, the heritage, the smell.
Is it totally beautiful?
Yeah, and it's a city, so
Yeah.
we're dealing with the same things. We always think, okay, paradise is wherever it is.
Right.
Beautiful weather, great place to
all the things.
visit, and I still think that Colorado ultimately is my home now.
Yeah.
Yep.
You've transplanted. Your roots are still
Yes,
there,
yes.
but
I
now
definitely
you're living
take some of the essence in.
Yeah.
In Hawaii, they call the idea of ohana,
Okay.
which is family.
Yeah.
And your family is who you create with you, and some of it is through connection and the energy that we create.
Yeah.
And that's part of the movement experience too.
Oh.
Are we moving energy around, or are we holding it in?
Yeah.
So ohana in Hawaiian is the community of family, and it doesn't have to be blood family. It could be whatever family you create.
Right. Oh, that's so wonderful. Because, there's lots of times where your family doesn't always have to be blood.
No, it's who you
Right.
ideally connect with,
Yeah.
and they see you for who you are.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Because I think that's a struggle a lot of people have too, is they want to have their blood family and they struggle mixing the two. I know that's something I do. But if you just connect those vibes, your vibe attracts your tribe for sure. So you also are a mom.
Yes.
And you just dropped off your son, is that correct?
Yes.
To go off and fly in college?
No, well,
No?
they graduated last year. And
Oh,
so
okay.
they've had their first, and I'd say I have three, but the two that are the same age are my twins, girl and boy.
Oh,
who
fun.
were born in the year 2000.
Okay, so they are starting to go, huh?
And, a girl-boy twin, 4 years of high school.
Yeah.
Was the best years and the hardest years. Both driving, both have different activities. So no, we had our son take off to Amman, Jordan. He's learning Arabic over the summer.
That is so cool. What sparked that?
I'm not sure.
Culture change?
Well, I think that the interest is there. They have been born and raised to be open to many things. And I think out of interest, it was an opportunity to learn a language intensely, to live in the environment and get 9 college credits.
Oh, that, right there.
Right there.
I get to have the credit for it and get to learn all of these awesome things from there.
And my beautiful daughter, who's the brother of the twin, actually went to school in Hawaii and is going to continue for 4 years.
Fun.
Grandparents are there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she's got that support there.
And she'll create her roots.
Yeah.
And I think those are important.
Does that touch a tender spot in your mommy heart that she's going back to where you came from?
So I think being a mom has enhanced my sensitivity to everything.
Yeah.
And also the expectations.
Yeah.
Okay. here's my daughter. I thought I was a dancer. Everyone's question is, so she's a dancer, isn't she? It's like, no. She did things that I would never dare to do, like lacrosse. I mean, anything that's confrontational or team sports. Oh, I just ran away from that.
Yeah, I was the opposite. I was musically and art inclined, so I didn't even do any of those things. I just sat.
I was art too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the biggest thing, again, we get back to what's really important is everyone in our lives. Every segment has its ability to be authentic and driven by authenticity and accepted for us authenticity. And I go back to the body, the way that the body moves or speaks, or young culture, if their posture is forward and down and they're frowning because they've been looking at, that shows up in their body and it shows up how they talk.
Yes,
right?
they do for sure.
So, if I could start a new, what they call charm school, but not about the posture. It's about, hey, what are you really saying with your body?
Probably.
Yes.
I would be interested to hear what you had to say, because I know literally I never put thought about how, my emotions and how my body movements. I never even thought about that until I really dived into what you do and stuff.
It is so much of it, as well as a phrase could impact me.
Yeah.
A piece of music could impact me. And, the whole process goes into either movement or that I see someone in front of me that so needs whatever the words are through the body. And I go, hey, why don't you do a session with me?
Right? Or you're just like, kindly.
What is your body? No, but it's more of an offering of, do you want to explore yourself?
Yeah.
And what do you want to discover this
about
week that
yourself.
you didn't remember?
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes we say, oh, I don't know. But guess what? We know.
Yeah.
It's buried.
Yeah. And I just know that, like, through the research that I did, it's innately, when you're born, your body just knows how to naturally trust itself. And I think we have been through so much in all of our lives that teach us to not trust those intuitions. And so it would be nice to get back to that.
Yes. Think about, watching your babies and when they're learning to roll. Do they have this script? Okay, no, I've got to roll to my side, put my right hand down, push up, and how do I roll over? No, there's an organic way that
they're just trying stuff.
And if we as grown-ups could experience that, we would probably experience a lot less pain.
Probably. I'm sure of it, honestly. Oh, that's so incredible. So tell me how, with all of the wonderful things that you've done, how you balance the entrepreneurial side, your mom's side, your go-get-em, and then your self-care as well.
Well, and I would say it sounds like a lot, but I think that what I have found to not be a glutton for everything. I don't know if that's the best way to say it. It's like, and it's not like partitioning or time management.
Right.
It's more of, in some ways, saying, what do I need to actually make it financially and survive? Because that's bottom line is, as much as we want to say, oh, I could do whatever I want to.
Right.
No, and so you create how much of that you want.
Yeah.
And how you're going to get there is through, in my case, it's all the connections. So I get to do beautiful things, and sometimes offered for money, and sometimes offered because I think it's a community or ohana thing.
Yeah.
And then it comes full circle. So
it does.
For me, it seems like I'm all over the place. The best thing I ever did, though, was last November, is closing a physical space.
Right.
And I could say, in my own experience, I had a block. I had said, you need to have the space to be who you are.
Yeah.
And finally it dawned on me, I can still be it without the space.
Yeah.
So I gained 12 hours in my week, basically, by not driving back and forth.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of time.
Managing a space, wonderful, but I realized I didn't need that.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes we think we have something that we need.
Right.
And the space and overhead was not necessary.
Yeah.
Way better. So that's the time I get
so
to do everything I want to do.
Yeah. And I love the fact that, sometimes a lot of us would get set in that, well, I have to close it, so that means that I failed. But I love that you took it as, a new beginning into what you want to be doing.
Yeah, and I think if we're willing to evolve, things, the one thing we can predict is that things are going to change.
Yep. For sure.
And I think our goal is to, go consciously forward with whatever we've been given, even circumstances and things out of our control.
Yeah.
And take them in with as much grace as we can.
Yeah.
But also know where our boundaries are. Where are we willing to go to get there? And what things remain important? Well, 3 times a year, 4 times a year, I have to go to a major tango festival because it's and then I come back and I get back into work and I do creative things like sew.
Yeah.
And I just take little times here and there to insert it. But I think if we can keep from being absolute junkies, like if we start a workout, situation we like, and then we say, okay, 7 days a week. In fact, I'm going to do it twice a day. That's not really, productive. I shouldn't say that because some people would do that, but that's not going to be long lasting.
Yeah.
So to start with a mindset and take, be there in whatever situation it is.
Be able to set yourself up for success through consistency as opposed to just...
yes, balance.
Yeah.
And I think at some point in your life you also realize that if you don't balance those parts, it will run you over because there's a certain level of...
It does.
Of
and you
upkeep.
just don't know what you put so much on your plate, you don't know what you're dropping off, honestly.
So it seems like there's a lot, but I think in the chunks that I do it, it's very... organized, and I dedicate, and when I know when I've taken too much on, and I'll back off and go, okay, so what else can I give up this month so that this can happen?
Right. So basically knowing your limits.
Knowing my limit.
Yeah. That's really, I know for me, I tend to overreach just a tiny bit because I believe, and maybe that's me lying to myself, but I believe I can accomplish it.
And that is a true attempt, and that is good too. I think we are supposed to ebb and flow.
Yeah.
It's only when we keep on one trajectory and that's it.
Yeah.
40 years later, that really wasn't it, was it?
Yeah.
Why didn't I get turned around? And
right.
So yes.
That's so awesome. So tell us where we can find you and where you like to hang out, where we can see your services and just be your friends.
Well, I flash around so much. I am teaching, actually. I'm going to start doing some workshops out of outside in the public, and I don't know where they're going to end up. I'm doing one at Mesa Fitness, which I'm a member, and I said I wasn't going to go and teach group classes, but I figured out in the community I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to start a community of beginning tango dancers and people who want to learn to walk first. Yes. So yes, and to find me, I do have a website.
Okay.
It's AnaliiCunningham.com. It is actually Movement Therapy's website, but I have created in my namesake because it's easier. Either way, people can find me. So, again, I would say that I provide more education. I can do some private work. But more than anything, I will connect with people and connect them to the best place to be for what they need.
Yeah. That's really good because I know sometimes people don't know where to start.
Right. And again, body education about the body, prevention, health, how we can remain young inside our spirit too. Yeah. So that the things that we want to accomplish, even when we're in our 80s. I have clients that are in their 70s and 80s. And,
that's so fun.
When they smile with their body, you know they're feeling good.
Oh, that's so good, yeah.
So the body does smile.
Yeah, that is so awesome. I bet it just turns on all the good feels because the auras change, just everything changes. Yes. Oh, that's so awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping by our studios and telling us about all this incredible things. I can't wait for my movement session because I just want to hear. Like you said, the education part of it is what is thrilling me to know and to be able to hear and understand kind of what is already going on in here. Yeah. You know, that's the most.
Your questions lead to your answers.
Yes.
See? Well, thank you, Alex.
Yes, of course. Thank you. What an incredible viewpoint from someone who is so dedicated and passionate about movement. It's interesting to hear her talk about movement and how movement through emotions can change the entire body, mind, and spirit. How you feel and how you attach those emotions to those physical movements and how you can stop using your ailments as a block and start unblocking your mind. Her range that goes from dance and all the way through to healing our bodies has just got this amazing magic that I don't even think that you can get unless you have that passion for movement. It's interesting as she goes on through her interview to talk about how observing your own self can change the entire brain and how you acknowledge the things that you physically move through. That is so connected to how many other things that we go through in our lives where we actually have to stand back, stop, and observe what we are doing, correct what is wrong with us as we move through this, and just realize that this change is how our bodies move forward. Stop attaching the meaning that this is in some way negative to you and learn how your body affects and goes through this trauma. It's also interesting to me that sometimes our bodies can have these ailments without traumas at all. So don't feel as if this has to be from something that has physically harmed you. Our brains and our bodies connected together create the movement and the natural patterns that we go through. But without actually taking that stand, stepping back and viewing that from a different perspective, sometimes those can go overlooked. We take for granted the bodies that are given to us. We pour into it unnatural, unhealthy substitutes for what our body is craving as nutrition, and yet somehow, some way, it still manages to do exactly what we wish it to do. Now, for those of you who have had those traumas and you cannot do those things again, it doesn't stop your body from disconnecting from your brain. It doesn't stop your brain from actually believing that it still can do those things, leaving you feeling that small burning seed of failure. But when you take that step back and gently remind yourself with grace that this is how your body moves, and it does not need a single bit of emotion to attach to that other than joy and happiness. For your body is moving, you are alive, and this is your life. I love that Analii has created this entire program and her escape away from everything to be able to help her clients in the privacy of her own home. And I hope that you all take advantage of the interesting and incredible tips that she has given us on how to move past our ailments and really get to the root of what is causing your body to move that way. I believe that you can reach Analii Cunningham at her movement therapies, or you can also visit her on Facebook at Analii Cunningham. I will also have the links to all of her pages and websites on our show notes, so be sure to give that a look so that way you can connect with Analii and find out exactly how to move past the emotional traumas that you attach to your body's movements. And don't forget to keep an eye out on her, because this spicy gal will be dancing around the town as her passion for dance takes her all the way from Hawaii to across the world. Thank you so much, Analii, for being here, and I'm so happy that we got to hear everything that you had to share with us. Your insight to movement is beyond, and I'm so privileged to get to hear it. Thanks for listening and supporting this woman today. She has overcome so many obstacles to create the vision of her dreams. And that takes a lot of courage, as we all know. So give this a like and share it with your friends. You never know what can inspire your true passion and light that fire to make the future of your dreams. I mean, it could be right here in this podcast. So share us and like us and be that inspiration today.